Today, we're going to break down one of the most transformative companies out there, Reliance Industries. It started as this industrial giant, but it's pivoted to become a huge part of everyday life in India. And in doing so, it's really reshaping the whole country's economy. So here's a riddle for you. What do all these things have in common? It sounds a bit random, right? But the answer is a single company. And that's what this explainer is all about, how Reliance has woven itself into the very fabric of India, connecting all these different parts of life into one massive, ambitious strategy. This is really a story of an incredible transformation. You see, Reliance started out as this industrial powerhouse, deep in oil and chemicals. But it's made this huge pivot to become a company you and I see every day, with retail stores where millions of people do their shopping. Okay, so here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll get a quick snapshot of what Reliance looks like today. Then, we'll dig into the industrial engine that really powered its growth. After that, we'll explore its consumer powerhouse before looking ahead to its next big bets. And finally, we'll tie it all together. Let's do it. To really get what Reliance is today, you have to see it as more than just a company. You almost have to think of it as a parallel engine for India's own ambitions. Its entire strategy, you'll see, is built on one powerful idea. And this quote right here, from the company's annual report, this is the key to everything. It's the philosophy that drives them. Every time they expand into a new sector, they're framing their corporate goals as a form of national development. So, a massive expansion like this, where does all the money come from? Well, let's start at the beginning, with the foundation of the whole empire. It's incredibly powerful, cash-generating legacy business. At its core, Reliance has always been about its oil-to-chemicals business, or O2C. This is basically a giant, sprawling network of refineries and plants. They take crude oil and turn it into everything from the gasoline for your car to the plastics and polyesters that are in, well, almost everything. For decades, this was the financial engine of the company. Now check this out. This data from their latest financial review really shows you that pivot in action. Look at the earnings from the old oil-to-chemicals business. They're declining. But then you look at retail and especially digital services, geo, and growth is just surging. This isn't an accident, folks. This is a very deliberate strategic shift.
So let's jump into that consumer business, because this is where Reliance really went from being this distant industrial behemoth to a brand that people interact with every single day.
The scale of their retail operation is just, well, it's staggering. We're talking over 19,000 stores. That makes them the largest retailer in the country by a huge margin. And they sell everything: groceries, electronics, fashion, you name it. And this number really shows you their insane reach. With over 349 million registered customers, the retail network serves more people than the entire population of the United States. It's not just a customer base at this point, it's a national-scale ecosystem. And you know what? The story is just as dominant in the digital world. Through its telecom company, Jio, Reliance has snapped up over 40% of India's entire wireless market. And it did that in less than a decade, completely turning the industry on its head. And they are not slowing down. Jio's push into 5G has been incredibly aggressive. As of March 2025, they'd already onboarded nearly 200 million users to their next-gen network. That's basically laying the foundation for all the future digital services they're planning. Okay, so here's the really crucial part. Their strategy goes beyond just running stores or selling you a phone plan. They're now getting into the business of owning the products themselves. They're buying up and reviving iconic Indian brands like the soft drink Campa Cola to compete directly in the consumer goods market. So you've dominated retail, you've dominated digital. Where does a company this massive go next? Well, if you look at their annual report, it points to two huge, future-focused bets. First up, green energy. And we're not talking about a small investment here. Reliance is pouring over 75,000 crore. That's roughly $9 billion into building a massive gigacomplex. The goal is to transform from an oil and gas giant into a global leader in renewable energy. And they have a clear, super ambitious timeline for this. They're planning to start large-scale battery manufacturing in the next year or so, enable over 100 gigawatts of renewable energy by 2030, and then the big one, become a net carbon zero company by 2035. And this image right here, it just captures that vision perfectly. It's a move from the old world of fossil fuels to a new one, powered by renewables. It's a fundamental shift in the company's whole identity.
Their second big frontier is artificial intelligence. With a platform called GeoBrain, Reliance is building a whole suite of AI services to offer businesses across India. See, they don't just want to use AI, they want to provide the core AI infrastructure for the entire country.
Okay, so let's pull all these different threats together and really look at the big picture here. What we've seen is this absolutely breathtakingly strategic pivot. Reliance used the immense profits from its industrial past to build a dominant position in the consumer present. And now, it's using that position to finance its ambition to become a pioneer in the technologies of the future.
And that leaves us with one final, and I think, crucial thought. Because of its sheer scale and how it aligns with national goals, Reliance's journey is more than just a corporate story. It's a story that is completely inseparable from the future of India itself. And what its ambition means for over 1 billion people? Well, that's the question that's going to define the next decade.